Heyo, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV. Today, a very special episode for you guys. It's been a while since we brought the hammer down on Hollywood, but I have no choice because the Endgame has concluded. I have seen it, as have millions of you out there, and we are going to bring the hammer down on it because there are quite a few things that I did not like, and I may be the only person in the entire fucking universe that is going to take shots at this movie, because we don't sit here on this channel and tell you all the fluffy stuff and how good it was and it gave me the feels. That's not what I'm interested in at all. I'm interested, and what we do here is tell you guys what was wrong with the Avengers Endgame movie, and that's exactly what we are going to do. Spoiler alert! So if you have not seen this movie, dude, go see it, because it's not a bad movie, but I expected a whole lot better, and we are bringing the hammer down on it right now. My name is Nick Nightmare, and you are watching Sledgehammer TV's Hammer in Hollywood Special Edition Avengers Endgame. Let's do it. Alright, everybody, thank you once again for checking out the channel today. Before we get serious here, I just want to show you guys something. I was at a first birthday party earlier today, and I had the balloon guy. I had a balloon guy there, and I had him make me Thor's hammer. Check this out, man. It's Mjolnir, made out of balloons. It's pretty fucking impressive. And I wasn't going to use it for today's show, even though it is exactly, it's not an exact replica of Thor's hammer, but the reason we're not using it is because that could get pretty fucking annoying, and I don't want to hear it, and I know you guys don't want to hear it, so we ain't going to use that hammer. We're going to pull out our Thor. This is Thor the Sledgehammer, and you are watching Sledgehammer TV's Avengers Endgame review. Now, let's get serious, and let's talk honestly, because maybe you guys can help me figure out, maybe I missed something. Maybe I was expecting so much, and they delivered on everything in a different way that I was not expecting, and maybe it's because I didn't understand, and maybe you guys can help me understand, but please take all my criticisms with a grain of salt. Do not come down with your own hammers on me, because this is just one guy's personal opinion. Everybody is entitled to them, and I want to share my opinion with you. Maybe I'm not alone on this island, and that's one of the reasons why we're making this video. And of course, if you enjoyed this video today, do not forget to give a subscribe on this channel. We are predominantly a wrestling channel, but we will continue hammering Hollywood as long as there is a demand for it. And if you guys enjoy the show, please let me know. We're going to get through this as quickly as possible, because I have got a whole lot to say. And if you agree with anything I have to say, you can hit that thumbs up and let me know that you liked this video. And do not forget to share this video with everybody else you know that has seen Endgame, even if you think I'm just a fucking crazy guy spewing bullshit and you found me entertaining even though you think I'm a complete moron. But here we go. Alright, let's talk about some of the things that I didn't enjoy about Endgame. We spent 10 years investing ourselves in this movie, and the story was fantastic. And I think the fact that they used the very lazy plot of time travel. Now, I know they've been hinting at it with the quantum realm and the time stone and things like that, and many people were predicting that we were just gonna go back in time and undo what has been done. But my problem with it essentially is this. Marvel and this movie made up their own rules for time travel, telling us everything that we've ever learned from Hollywood is full of shit, which is absolutely true, but they said everything that you know or think you assume about time travel, just throw it out the window, because that's not how time travel works. And in fact, here, when you go back in time and make a change, it doesn't actually affect the outcome in the future. It only creates a parallel dimension, a multiverse of what has actually happened. So when you say that, what you're essentially saying is we can go back and change everything, but it's not going to change the future. So you're kind of contradicting yourself, because you're bringing all these people back at the end. Isn't that changing the future? Haven't they been erased from existence? Oh, wait. Apparently they haven't, because in case you missed this, during the final battle, there is one scene that really pissed me off, probably even more than some of this other stuff, which is Spider-Man finds his way to Tony Stark in the middle of this battle, and very quickly, because there's so much shit going on, you can't have a minute to talk in the middle of the Endgame war, but Spider-Man blurts out, "Mr. Stark, it's so great to see you." And what did he say? He said, "After I disappeared and got all fuzzy, I was somewhere else. I was somewhere else. Doctor Strange was there. And he kept telling everybody to just wait. And then he was like, come on, everybody. 5 years is up. We got to go. What? You guys didn't die? Did they go to a parallel universe? Did they go to a multiverse? How is Doctor Strange talking to Spider-Man after the snap? I would have loved to have seen some of that involved in the movie. Show us where these other characters went if they didn't in fact die. Because that's exactly what you said happened, but we don't really know that. And if you missed that sentence in that battle, you are going to not even hear that. But I heard it, and it bothered me. So they didn't actually die when the snap happened. They just went somewhere else. Where? Where else did they go? That's just one major problem that I have with this whole story, because you didn't tell us any of that. They just, they were gone, and they went somewhere. We don't care. They're back now. Let's just move on. But that would have been a much more interesting story to show me than having to see Tony Stark all fucking depressed and having to see the greatest heroes on Earth, Avengers, the Earth's mightiest heroes, for 5 years being fucking depressed and not being able to get over it. Wouldn't they be like the next day trying to call to action? What do? We got to reverse this. All of our friends are fucking gone. They're just gonna, Captain America sitting around fucking crying? And my biggest problem with this is the character arc changes with Thor and the Hulk simultaneously. Thor, the fucking god of thunder, 5 years later turns into a fat, pompous one-liner machine. This is one of the mightiest heroes you have ever seen. He is a god. And he's sitting around playing fucking Fortnite for 5 years with his two buddies, with Korg and the little beetle dude. Are you serious? Wouldn't Thor be like one of the first people to be like, I gotta get back to Asgard, I gotta get my fucking weapon, we gotta figure this out? Thor's depressed? You turned him into fucking Aquaman at the beginning of Aquaman. Just an alcoholic guy who doesn't give a shit that he's a god anymore. I lost my friends, I lost my mom. What? This is what I came to the Endgame for? To see Thor wallowing in self-pity, becoming a fucking pussy, drinking beer and getting a big fat man gut, all so that the crowd can fucking laugh? I didn't come to the Endgame to laugh. I wanted to see this battle, this epic conclusion. And you're dragging on the whole first 2 hours with fucking fat jokes for Thor. Crybaby Thor crying about his mommy. What? And then on the flip side, you got fucking the Hulk. The Incredible Hulk, I'm going to tell you guys right now, is my favorite, one of my favorite Marvel heroes. Probably my all-time favorite. And I understand that in my life, I have seen the smart version of the Hulk. I have seen the banner-infused Hulk, all in comic books, and I don't have a problem with it, because in those renditions of super smart Hulk, he's not a fucking pussy too. You turn the Hulk into an uber nerd, devoid of aggression, because he's got it under control. You can't get the Hulk mad now, and you don't give him a redeeming moment after being so brutally beaten by Thanos in the Infinity War. This is the 5 year later version of the Hulk. He can't get mad enough to throw a fucking rock on the streets in New York when they revisited the fucking timeline in 2012, being embarrassed at his Hulk self. That is not what I thought I was going to see out of the Hulk. I thought we were going to see the super smart Hulk, but he was going to smash the shit, at least have a decent one-on-one with Thanos, redeem himself at some point. How much action did we see from the Hulk in the final battle? He was now just one amongst many people that just were fighting everybody. I didn't like it. I felt it did not deliver on a decent character arc for the Hulk. He should have at least redeemed himself. Yeah, I could still get big and angry, but now I'm fucking smart, and now I'm going to kick your ass. That's the Hulk. Hulk smash did not go away because he had a brain. He was just able to do it in a more controlled way. But this Hulk didn't even want to fucking throw a rock. And I'm supposed to just be okay with that. I'm supposed to take that. And while we're talking about them jumping back, at one point, Tony Stark and the gang are back in time at another point, and they want to reclaim the Tesseract before it is taken. And they are almost successful in this mission. But then Loki gets his hands on the Tesseract and disappears. This has no consequences. I would have liked to have seen what happened. Maybe that should have been where they went. Oh, no, now we have to go get Loki to get the Tesseract, but instead they decide to go get more magic Pym juice because we only had 4 and that was good. Well, we only have this one shot back and forth. If we fuck up, we fuck up and that's it. But now we're just going to go back and get more Pym juice. What? If you could have done that, why didn't you just do that right from the beginning? That should have been mission 1. Let's go back and get as much fucking Pym juice as we need so we can keep going back and forth in time. But then, that other theory, that multiverse theory, creeps in the back of my head. If they're going back in time and changing all these things, nothing's going to change the future, then what the fuck are they doing? It's convoluted, it's confusing, and it's lazy. Time travel is a bullshit way to go back and fix something. Oh, well, what would you have done, smartass? You know what I would have done? I would have done exactly what I begun to say earlier. I would have had them immediately. This movie should have started the next day after the snap and have them all trying to figure out what's going on. At least show some of that before Scott Lang magically pops back up. The 5 years forward, unnecessary. Unnecessary. And then you have them go and get to Thanos before he snaps his fingers the second time and destroys the stones. Have the battle, have them remove the glove, have them get the stones, show Thanos now defeated, and then he now has to go rise up again. They didn't kill him, they couldn't kill him, and now he's reforming his armies, he's doing all this other shit, and then you could have came to the end game. Using the time stone to accomplish bringing everybody back. But that rule, man, that multiverse rule, well, it just fucks me up. Just like when the Hulk says, well, you can't go back and kill baby Thanos and it's not going to change anything. How would that not change anything? You're not traveling through other universes. You're traveling through time in one universe. In this MCU. But if you go back and kill baby Thanos, the Thanos that's going to do everything that has been done to you up until this point, it's not going to change anything. He's still going to be born. He's still going to grow up in your timeline and do what has already been done. Then what is the point of going back in time and changing anything? Very convoluted, very, very confusing. Rewriting your own time rules to fit your narrative just didn't play with me. It didn't play with me. Another case in point, Gamora. Right? We all know everybody's coming back in this movie. But you bring Gamora back through time travel. She comes back to the present day, still evil in her brain, still on the side of Thanos. And now she doesn't give a fuck about Quill when she sees him. Quinn, sorry. Doesn't give a shit about anybody. And then they have Black Widow in this movie in order to claim the Soul Stone and stop Thanos from getting it. She sacrifices herself. And everybody's acting like they can't get her back, but you got Gamora back. Can't you just go back, use your Pym juice, jump back in the quantum realm, get Black Widow right before she gets on that mission, bring her back to the past, like they did with Gamora, and everybody can be happy. And if changing the past doesn't change the future, wouldn't that essentially mean that when Black Widow got the Soul Stone instead of Gamora, how did that not change anything? How did Thanos still end up with all the stones in that universe in order to complete his mission? It didn't make sense. It was very clouded to me. What else did we do? Oh, a lot of wasted time, a lot of wasted exposition. Did we really need to see Tony Stark back in the 50s or whatever, talking to his dad before he was born and have this little poignant moment between the two? I don't need this shit right now. Oh, well, he needed closure with his daddy issues. Not in this movie. This movie should have been gung-ho, all action, front to back. It shouldn't have been 3 hours. Should have been a 2-hour all-out war for the fate of humanity. But instead we're getting long stares. Captain America's depressed and sad. Black Widow is depressed and sad for 5 years. Tony Stark on the verge of a mental breakdown. I didn't enjoy any of that. I didn't enjoy any of the extra. You know what else I didn't enjoy? Fucking Captain Marvel. I don't like this character. I don't like how she was given so much importance and they placed so much of a need. Oh, well, Captain Marvel's coming. We seen the little logo at the end of Infinity War, and then Captain Marvel, the movie came out, and you know, whatever. And then she comes into this movie, talking to the mightiest heroes on the planet as if they're douchebags. Like, oh, well, last time you didn't have me. I'm going to be the difference maker. But by the way, I'm going to fucking leave. You built up this character to have 3 fucking minutes in this film, and then she doesn't even do anything to truly change the tide except for take out one ship? That's the importance of Captain Marvel? Fuck Captain Marvel. If she's going to be the bridge between this universe story and the next phase of the MCU, then I really don't care. I really, really don't. And that has nothing to do with any of that Brie Larson bullshit. I could care less about how the cast feels about it. Just as the character in the movie, fuck that character. I could care less. She did nothing to add to this movie at all. Not at all. Her sole purpose was to save Tony Stark from being stuck out in space with Nebula. And that's another problem. Nebula. Nebula from the past switches place with the Nebula of the current day. And nobody fucking notices this because she's got this on her, this other thing on her head. Nobody can sense the difference in her tone or her attitude. And then she turns on them in the end, and then there's 2 fucking Nebulas. But isn't that not allowed? I don't know. It was very confusing, and I did not enjoy a majority of this film. The final battle was fun. The final battle was fun. It was full of all kinds of cool little team-up moments. But it took too long to get to, and then essentially was over almost before it began. The battle did not last very long. I felt like it took them longer for the reveal of Doctor Strange's, all his little circly things, and everybody coming through. And I'll come clean on this. I was a little bit disappointed at this because of all of the fucking rumors and bullshit and the hype that we were being fed leading into this because of the disintegration of the X-Men and everything they're doing over at Sony. We were supposed to, well, there were rumors and whispers that maybe Wolverine was going to show up. Maybe we were going to see some of the X-Men. We were going to have all of these characters that are coming now to this MCU from the Sony MCU. And it would have been a whole lot more fun. Sure, it would have been just a minute or 2, but a cameo wouldn't have hurt. But seeing Black Panther come back, seeing all the Valkyries from Thor, Asgard, and like all of the soldiers, like where were all those soldiers? Like they were all just sitting there waiting in line for Doctor Strange to open up his fucking hole for 5 years. Explain that one to me. I did not appreciate a lot of the loopholes that I have found in this movie. The mission to change the past without changing anything in their present just absolutely seems impossible to me, and it's totally implausible. So many things went wrong on all of these missions, and seemingly none of those things that went wrong had any consequence. So why are we seeing them? Just so we could see them try to attempt to steal back all of these stones? I didn't get it. And then you have the end. The end of this movie. Like, I'm not getting into every single fucking scene. It's not worth it. I'm just telling you guys everything that I didn't like about this movie. And one of the big things that I didn't like is how they ended it for Captain America. Because you're telling me 10 years worth of investing into all these characters, and then the final shot of Avengers Endgame is Captain America dancing with Agent Carter in the 1950s making out. That's how you ended this film? There was a much better way to go about this. First of all, Captain America going alone to return all these stones to the exact moment in time into which they were taken. Why does he have to do this if it doesn't matter and it's not going to change anything? Right? As per their own rules. Why does he have to give them back? Didn't it already create an alternate universe because you took that stone from there in the first place? Think about that for a minute. Nobody's talking about any of this stuff, I'll tell you that. You're going to only hear that shit here because everybody else is just down on this movie. And on that point, when he goes back in time, if he has to bring it to the exact point in time where it was taken, shouldn't it be in the exact form that it was at the time that it was taken? So shouldn't he kind of be bringing the sphere in which the Power Stone was in? And shouldn't he be bringing the Tesseract in the scepter? Like, he's just got the 5 separate stones. What do they have, the missing pieces back in that time? I don't get it. Did it make sense? And for this being the end for Captain America, why didn't he go out valiantly like Tony Stark did? That, I thought, was probably the most powerful moment of this movie. I can't say anything bad about the demise of Tony Stark. It was almost inevitable. If you listen closely to everything he said at the beginning, there was almost no way he was going to come out at the end alive. And you all know that that is not what has happened, and that's why I'm wearing my Iron Man shirt in memory of Iron Man, who is actually the only fucking person to be absolutely permanently dead in the MCU. Captain America grows old. He gives his shield to Falcon, which I have no problem with. That is something that has happened in comic book lore. He's also given the shield to Bucky, but Bucky has not proven himself to be all that straight and narrow in the head, so I don't mind him passing it along to Falcon. And I actually hope that they do something with that and give Falcon a run as Captain America in whatever phase we're going forward. I wouldn't mind seeing that. That would be fucking great. But Captain America should have died in this film. He should have died in battle, or received an injury so severe that he just could not do it. His super soldier self just could not recover, and he gave his life for this cause to bring his friends back, just like Iron Man did. What, it was too much to have two people go down? This is the end game. You're ending the fucking story, and we're going to relaunch it again in some other way in the years to come. Why couldn't we have had some real awesome moment for Captain America that way? That's the way I think Cap would want to go out. He would want to go out on his shield, wouldn't he? He's not going to go spend 50-something fucking years in the past banging Maggie Carter and then coming back, oh yeah, I'm back. Here's my shield. I'm an old man now. I'm good. What? I definitely did not enjoy most of this film, as you could probably get the gist of. I'm not going to go too much further into it. I have voiced the majority of my complaints. My biggest problem with it being the very jokey tone that this movie took. When you're trying to bring everything to an end, sure, it's okay to bring in levity here and there, but to make Thor and the Hulk essentially just fucking one-liner punching bags throughout this whole thing, turning two of the most powerful characters ever into a couple of sniveling pusses, and then just everything else being expositional and telling us how everybody felt instead of showing us what the fuck happened and what's going on. This was not what I expected from the Endgame. And while I do have all of these criticisms and all of these things that I do not enjoy, if you're still with me and you don't hate me by now for everything that I've said, I'm not saying it was a bad film. It was a good film. It was a fun experience, but it definitely left me with so many questions. It left me feeling confused, and it actually made me want to see a different this is not the version of this film that I expected. I expected it to be a much more serious tone. I expected it to not be 3 hours long, and I expected it to be mostly battle, mostly action. I didn't expect what I got with the Endgame. And now I'm going to wrap it up on that before I say something that you guys really don't like, if I haven't already. And I am sorry if you are all pissed off and salty and sour about my opinions on the Avengers Endgame, but you have your opinions as well. And like I said at the beginning of this thing, hopefully you guys can help me understand. So if there's something that I missed and there's something you would like to explain to me, you want to call me a jerk off because I didn't like this movie, go ahead. You can do so right down there in the comments section. Now, by the way, if you call me a jerk off, I'm just going to delete it. So it's probably not worth your time. But if you feel the need to get it out, go ahead. It won't be there by tomorrow. So, good on you for getting your opinion out there, because that's fine. Everybody's allowed their opinions just as I am. And I hope that you guys understand where I'm coming from. And I hope maybe I enlightened you on maybe some of the things that you might have missed that weren't so good. Everybody's so over the moon about this movie and talking about, oh, I cried so much. What are you crying for? What are you crying for? There was only one moment in that whole movie that should have shed a tear for any of you, which it almost did for me, which was the reunion of Spider-Man and Iron Man. When you see Tony Stark's reaction to seeing Spider-Man back and the genuine hug he gave him, that was a real feel-good moment. It gave me the feels all over the place, but the rest of this movie gave me the feels in the wrong way, and I did not enjoy most of it. But, like I said, it was a good film, and most of you guys probably loved it. It's just definitely not what I expected. Thank you guys for dealing with my little Avengers Endgame review and rant, and I hope you guys get to see it, and I would like to hear your opinions on it. And do not forget, if you enjoy pro wrestling, And you want to hear me be vicious and delicious about that, just like I am right here on the Avengers Endgame, because we pull no punches, we don't sugarcoat shit, and we tell you exactly how it is and what we see. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. There will be more Hammer in Hollywoods if you guys call for it, and when the next big movie drops, probably will be Spider-Man. Maybe we'll do something on that, but I'll keep you guys informed as we go along. Thank you all so very, very much for being here with me. I hope I didn't upset you guys too much today. That, my friends, is going to do it. Don't forget to leave a like and share this video with each and every one of your buddies all over the world, especially if they need to be educated about Endgame. Or maybe you just want to show them some crazy guy rambling on like a moron, because maybe that's what I am. Maybe I take things too much to heart, and I just... maybe I'm selfish and want to see things done the way I would do them, but not everybody's as smart as I am. That's... All right, everybody, let's get the hell out of here. That, my friends, is going to do it. We are out of here, and we will see you next time right here on your new favorite channel, Sledgehammer TV, home of Hammer in Hollywood, and the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show every Monday and Tuesday night following Raw and SmackDown Live. Thank you so much. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is the Team Thor, the Sledgehammer, the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. He is not fat and overweight. He's still his trim, deliciously beautiful self. His tag team partner, the World Heavyweight Champion of all the microphones in all the world, Mr. Blue, the Snowball, and the most important member of the team, as always, is each and every one of you. And I thank you and love yous for life for being Sledgeheads right here on Sledgehammer TV. We'll see you next time.